Today on the Ask the Anxiety Guy show, one question and one question only: how to overcome performance anxiety. Let's go. Warriors, welcome. Your questions matter. You're listening to the Ask the Anxiety Guy show.
This podcast episode is brought to you by the End the Anxiety program, a downloadable CBT-based program created by the Anxiety Guy himself to help heal your emotional distress and put anxiety behind you once and for all. Visit www.anxietyexit.com to learn more today.
Hey guys, welcome to episode number 166 of the Anxiety Guy podcast. This is the hashtag Ask the Anxiety Guy show. Thank you for your support on this show. Many comments coming in. People saying they're enjoying it. They're loving how the questions are being answered. I am grateful to be able to give you the best of my knowledge, my friends. So I love each and every one of you so much. I want to send a shout out to every single warrior out there that is in the transition to a courageous new identity that they want to create for themselves. I am so proud of you for taking on this journey, because there are so many people out there that would rather revert back to what's been programmed and conditioned within them, and they're too fearful to take those baby steps forward. So good for you. Today, it's about one question and one question only. It's about performance anxiety. Now, when we think about performance anxiety, we think about elite athletes or actors. But the truth is that when I'm talking about performance anxiety today, I'm talking about the regular meeting that happens each and every week in your workplace. I'm talking about having guests over to your house and you've got to cook a dinner. These sorts of things can truly be in the same realm that is called performance anxiety. Now, Ruzina Dvorakova has sent an email question. She asks, Dennis, I have always had a problem with anxiety. It runs in the family. It continues to worsen until a year ago when I had a huge panic attack during a concert. I couldn't eat for 2 days afterwards. I am a classical musician. She goes on by saying, a week ago, I went to an audition and it all came flooding back. I was completely in panic mode, and of course, I played terribly. This uncomfortable situation of being judged she's talking about. Finally, could you do an episode on performance anxiety as you've suffered from it in the past? How were you able to perform again and enjoy it? Now, great question. First off, let's understand that performance anxiety isn't something that you're born with. Either you witnessed it once or repeatedly in your authority figures like mom and dad, or some people's energy or words provoked you into becoming sensitized. Or, likely, you had one or multiple experiences that were emotionally traumatic. Now, this feeling, these thoughts, this person showed up based on things that occurred from the past. Most of these people who experience performance anxiety are actually highly skilled and capable, very capable, of presenting what they need to in a very effective way. The tools are all there, but it's the expectation that may not get met that scares them into becoming sensitized. Now, let's go a little bit deeper and analyze what it is about performing that haunts a person the most. Some may be sensitized to a specific aspect of the experience, like the lights shining on them, or the speakers that are too loud. Others might believe deep down that they're just not capable of performing confidently because it's not a part of who they are, their nature, just like their parents who couldn't present either. Does this sound like you? These people unconsciously may feel a disconnect from the ones they love if they actually do something in an opposing manner than their loved ones. My dad was highly agitated, nervous, almost frightened every time he had to present his drawings as an architect to the board members. That became me for some time, until I accepted that my love for him didn't need to fade if I opposed his behaviors in some way. Warriors, the common thing about performance anxiety is that it connects itself to other situations. The sensitivity to giving a speech at work could affect your karaoke singing, as well as your weekly soccer games you play, and so on. It makes someone believe that it's an identity issue when in fact it's just an association issue, as well as emotions held at a deep level. Association issues because you've consciously and unconsciously connected performing to pain and fleeing the scene to pleasure. But let's analyze this for a moment, shall we? Let's assume that the majority of performance anxiety lingers because of the possibility of not performing up to the standards of others. And you may be ridiculed for something you say or wronged for something you did. Doesn't this just come down to mainly misinterpreting of the people watching you? For example, if you're sitting there watching a presenter at a meeting at work, what goes on in your head? Let me ask you that. I'll tell you what goes on in your head. I love her shoes. I wonder what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. Did I leave the stove on this morning when I left the house? Am I breathing all right? The overwhelming majority of people you think are so critically judging you are there with the intention of gaining something from your performance. That could be to be entertained or gain some insight into a subject. These observers are also going in and out of trance states 15 to 20 times per hour, which means they're only paying attention to a very small part of your presentation. You may say a word such as vacation in your presentation, and off their mind goes on how they'll afford the next vacation they need to go on. You say the word car, and they think of how they need to upgrade their little old wagon that they have. So the ones observing you are very much supporters, learners, and highly unfocused, which means the pressure to have to perform perfectly fades because they won't even recognize that perfect performance anyway. Your observers will view your performance based on their emotional states in that moment, what you look like, how their day is going, and other factors that have nothing to do with you. Your performance plays a very small role in their overall conclusion of how you did. Now, warriors, this means that there are 3 things that must be applied prior to and during the time you take the stage, go to the meeting, play the sporting event, whatever. Number 1, visualize the event going just the way you'd like it to go prior to physically being there. This means that you can also add funny clowns in the crowd, dolphins, the Batman signal coming from the lights, anything you'd like in that moment. This will help to begin shifting your associations and finding a lighter side of your performance. Number 2, make a list of all the things you love about performing. Put the list up on your wall and feel the emotions that come with these components. Look at the list each and every day and feel the gratitude for doing what you get to do. It's not pain anymore. Now it's pleasure because you've taken control of where your focus is going. Number 3, use fear as an opportunity to inspire yourself first and then others. Warriors, fear is adrenaline or energy, and you have the option to go internal with it and question yourself, or to use it to energize yourself in some way during the performance. You can speak louder, you can use your hand gestures, you can use powerful eye contact with others, and anything else that comes to mind. Take these great athletes, for example. They get jitters, they shake at times, they run into question marks about their performance, but they defy those limits by using that energy in a productive manner. And that is why they are called champions. Warriors, these 3 steps, as well as the knowledge presented earlier in this episode, will transform your personality from fading away from performing to embracing it. Remember, every inner challenging situation is a training opportunity for you in the game of life to prepare you for even bigger goals in the future and greater life fulfillment. Take this quote with you today. Nerves and anxiousness in the stomach is the roar of the engine before it soars. So I challenge you to soar above your limiting ideas today. You are more than anxiety. See you soon. Warriors, remember, you are more than anxiety. You keep asking the questions, and I'll keep answering them.